Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Debunking some myths about why Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed with Steelers yet. We don't know exactly why QB Aaron Rodgers has dragged his feet signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. While it's reasonable to assume that doing so is the most likely outcome, things are in limbo until he does. And while we don't know the exact reasons, we do know some factors that are not involved in the conversation. These are claims that are simply based on incorrect information, but the notions are proliferating. Part of what we like to do is, when warranted, address these popular but incorrect theories and dispel them. Recent days have seen some suggest some reasons behind the holdup in the Steelers signing Rodgers, even entering the local airwaves. Having reached critical mass, it's time to make some things clear. Aaron Rodgers is entirely free to sign with the Steelers right now, the timing making no difference for either party. It doesn't matter that he was designated a post-June cut by the Jets, nor does he impact the compensatory formula. In fact, the 2 points contradict one another. So let's dig in a little further, starting with what a post-June designation is. When the calendar rolls over into June, the way that dead cap is accounted shifts. Basically, at that point in the season, more dead cap is pushed into future years rather than the present. Teams are permitted to designate 2 players post-June cuts per year. While those players are free agents at the start of the new league year in March, the team must carry the player's cap number until June. So Aaron Rodgers has been a street free agent since the start of the new league year last month, and has been available to sign with the Steelers at any point since then. That doesn't affect Rodgers or the Steelers at all, it's only the Jets who tote that luggage. He is a free agent as much as anybody, so the designation is irrelevant, despite what you might have seen, read, or heard elsewhere. And now for the next suggestion, the idea that the Steelers are waiting to sign Aaron Rodgers because of the compensatory formula. While the compensatory window closes after the draft, this is a simple one to address. Rodgers is not a compensatory free agent, e.g. a free agent who factors into the compensatory formula. Players who are released from their contracts are street free agents who don't influence a team's compensatory losses or gains. The fact that Rodgers was a post-June designation doesn't have any bearing on his compensatory status. If listening to 93.7 The Fan and reading Steelers Facebook groups and the questions Bob Labriola addresses for the team's website in his Asked and Answered column are anything to go by, misinformation is truly rampant these days. I don't know how many times Mike Tomlin has died by now, but he must have feline blood in him. This is my small way of attempting to combat some of the misinformation out there about Aaron Rodgers. To reiterate, his post-June release designation and the compensatory formula have nothing to do with the weight. The only way Steelers can win the 2025 season is clear as day. The offseason hasn't gone as Steeler fans had hoped it would. Having a record amount of cap space and a plethora of needs, it seemed like this team was primed for some big moves and splash signings. Instead, they turned over their quarterback room for the second straight season and signed an elderly cornerback. In a vacuum, the moves this offseason haven't been bad, but given the state of the quarterback room, this team certainly won't be competitive. No matter what the Steelers claim, a Super Bowl isn't in the cards next season. You should be okay with this. Unless Justin Fields makes some big changes, no realistic quarterback for the team was going to get them over the hump. As it stands right now, the team appears to be poised for an average season and has a chance to sneak into the playoffs. That means that, moving forward, there is only one way this team can win the offseason. Given the outcome of free agency and where the strength lies in this draft class, the best way for the Steelers to win is to shift their focus to 2026. On paper, they are already in a great spot to make a huge overhaul 1 year from now. Once again, this team will be flush with cap space. Over the Cap has them estimated at over $122 million in free cap space right now. that number will shrink with a TJ Watt extension, but even still, it seems likely that this team will have a similarly large amount of cap space come 2026. This means that they will have the flexibility of making big moves. While they won't be the top spenders, they can add a few huge pieces as they did with DK Metcalf this offseason. As for the remainder of the current free agency period, Pittsburgh appears set to play the compensatory pick game. They are in line to receive 4 additional picks in 2026, and depending on playing time and incentives in deals, 3 of the picks could become third-round selections. While the team will continue to sign players, I expect most of them to be cap casualties or minimum-level options to keep those picks secure. Frankly, there isn't anyone else worth risking those comp picks over. As for the draft, despite the quarterback question looming large, this team can't use its top pick on a rookie passer. NFL Insider floats why Aaron Rodgers might be waiting to sign with Steelers. The wait for quarterback Aaron Rodgers has continued for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There doesn't appear to be an end to the wait in sight. NFL insider Mike Florio shed some light on possibly why that's the case with the NFL draft 3 weeks away. I had somebody suggest to me yesterday, and I'm just sharing what I heard, what this person's opinion is. It's not a fact. It's not a report. But it's somebody who is in the ecosystem and isn't a low-level employee. This is a high-level person with one of the teams, Florio said on the April 2nd episode of his podcast. The opinion is he doesn't really want to play for the Steelers, and he's waiting for Minnesota. The Steelers and Minnesota Vikings have been floated as the 2 most likely landing spots for Rodgers this offseason. The New York Giants were also suggested as a possibility when free agency began. The Giants, though, have signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Pittsburgh is the only team that has reportedly made an offer to Rodgers. But according to Florio and others in the NFL media, the Vikings could still be a dark horse to sign the 41-year-old quarterback. Pundits and fans considered the Vikings out of the running for Rodgers when NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported on March 19 that the Vikings were not interested in Rodgers this spring. The Vikings rejected multiple trade calls on J.J. McCarthy, telling other teams they're moving forward with him as their quarterback, sources say, tweeted Pelissero. The team plans to add a veteran. But they're not pursuing Aaron Rodgers at this time. McCarthy now enters the offseason as QB1. But in actuality, Pelissero didn't completely rule out Minnesota as a Rodgers destination. Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah didn't either while speaking to ESPN's Kevin Seifert on March 26. For me to sit here and say anything is 100% forever, that's just not the job, said Mensah. Steelers team president Art Rooney too told reporters at the league's annual spring meeting that the signs point to Rodgers signing in Pittsburgh. In general, that's how all insiders, including Florio, have framed the story of the last couple weeks. But the signs pointing to Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh, and Florio's suggestion the quarterback prefers to play in Minnesota can both be true. And you, fan? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers' situation? Write to us in the comments.